So I just wanted to go through the cheese scone recipe that that I sent out to you before half term. Now I'm hoping that you guys have got some ingredients, because obviously we know that the supermarkets have been a little bit short. So I'm just going to go through the cheese scone recipe with you today. So to start off with, we've got some self-raising flour. We've got 6 ounces of that in there. So, and then we're going to add in our 2 ounces of butter. So we're going to pop that into there. Now, one thing that I've done before I have started to cook is I've got out all my ingredients. All my ingredients are out. So I've got my flour and my margarine that I've already weighed out, and then I've got my cheese here, which is going to be ready to grate. I've grated some already, and then I've got some milk. And also my other bits and bobs that I needed ready, like my baking tray, which is just over here. Remember to get all your ingredients out first, and then get all your equipment ready first before you even think about starting to cook. So make sure you've got everything that you need. Okay, so what we're going to do is we've added our flour and our powder, our mustard powder, and our marge into there. I've used butter, so I've just used butter from the fridge, just because I couldn't find any block marge. I'm really struggling to get some ingredients. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my hands. Remember to wash your hands before you start cooking, which I've already done. And then we're going to get our hands into the mixture. Okay, let me just pop my rings off. And then we're going to get our hands into the mixture. We're going to use the rubbing in method. So remember, tips of your fingertips. And we're going to just rub it in really gently to start with. Okay, I know this is a funny feeling on your fingers. I don't particularly like the feeling of flour myself on my fingers, but flour makes your hands really, really soft. So obviously we've been doing a lot of hand washing in the last few weeks to keep nice and clean, and obviously away from the coronavirus. So what we're going to do, this will hopefully make your hands feel a little bit softer, but the only thing is we obviously have to wash our hands afterwards. So that's our only downfall, isn't it? That we're having to wash our hands a lot at the moment. Okay, so as you can see, what we're going to do is when we're rubbing in, it's starting to look a little bit like breadcrumbs. Now there's 2 ways of rubbing in. The best way is with your fingertips, like this, right on the ends of your fingertips. But I quite like to hold it in my hands and rub it in like this. Okay, remember, this will not eat you. Okay, so I know it doesn't feel very pleasant, but it will not hurt you at all. So it's starting to look really good now. I'll take those excess off my fingers. And you'll probably hear some noises in the background. So I'm in my kitchen at home at the moment. So my dishwasher's on, and also my cat is meowing and he's in the background. He is absolutely loving me being home at the moment. I'm not loving being at home. I'm missing you guys a lot. So as you can see, we're starting to look like breadcrumbs. So it changes colour a little bit, like so, and it just looks like bready breadcrumbs. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to go and wash my hands so you can have a look. With soap, it's a little bit difficult to get off, but the reason I'm fully washing my hands now, we're trying to get most of it off, is because we're going to grate some cheese to put into our scones. So, scones or scones, I know I'm going to get in trouble by some of you. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side, and we're going to bring in our cheese grater. So I've weighed out my cheese, and I've already got some grated in there, but I just wanted to show you, want to use the big bit of the cheese grater, not the smaller bit. Okay, and we're going to hold on, we're going to watch what we're doing. Mine's really, really sharp. This is why I always watch what I'm doing when I'm doing this, because I always end up grating off my knuckles. As you all know, I'm a bit accident prone, aren't I? So we're going to go as close as we can. You'll probably find there's some little bits on the edge there. Try and get them into your recipe, because they'll melt really nicely into the middle of your cheese scones. So what we're going to do is put our hand up inside, try and get as much excess off as possible. Mine's fallen out the side. Put that to one side so it's dirty. We know that that's dirty now. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put in probably the majority of this cheese into the bowl. Okay, we're going to leave a little bit of cheese at the top because we want to just decorate our cheese scones when we put them in. Okay, and what you're going to do first is you're going to get a dinner knife out. Yeah, we're going to mix that in first, so just stirring it round. Make sure all your mixture's in there like so. Okay, like that. And then you're ready to start adding your milk. Okay, so we're going to add our milk in a little bit at a time, so we'll put a fair bit in there. And then mix it round with your knife. Remember to get right to the bottom of your bowl. Mix it in nicely. Oh, they smell good. So we're going to have these for our lunch today because they're a nice thing to have. Okay, so as you can see, I've only put a little bit in there to start with, and you don't need to put a huge amount in because you need to keep mixing it. So until it's fully gone in. If your mixture goes a little bit wet and you put a little bit too much milk in, just add a little bit of flour in and it will bring it together like so. Like this. So I put the right amount probably in, which is a first for me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring it together. So I'm going to put my knife just to one side. Now I know what you're all thinking as well. You're probably thinking, I haven't got a cutter. I haven't got a cutter. Well, I don't own a set of cutters at home. I never have done because I mainly like to make cakes. I'm not really, I don't really make a lot of like savoury or things like this with cutters. So, and I'm not very good at making pastry either. So what I do is I just have a glass and I use the bottom of the rim of the glass, okay? And I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to put some flour onto our worktop where we've been working. I'm just going to move that so you can see that a bit better. Okay, and then we're going to put your hand in. So your floured hand, I'm going to put in like so and bring your dough together. Okay. Now, if you've got a big family, then you can double that recipe if you wanted to. So you could do, instead of 6 ounces of flour, you could do 12 ounces of flour. Obviously, if you've got flour as well. Okay. Now my dough's come out looking like this, so that's what it should look like, and obviously you can see your cheese in there. Pop it onto the flour like so, and then we're going to knead it round. So we're going to use this part of our hands, put a little bit more flour on there. Okay, and I've also had to borrow my daughter's apron. We're going to use this part of our hands because my apron's at work. Into there, I'm going to use it, we're going to go round like that. So bring it up and round, so up and round, just with the one hand, up and round like so, like this, up into the middle, like that, and then you're going to turn this over, and as you can see, when you turn it over, it's nice and smooth. It's not very even, but that's fine because it means that they're nice and homemade. So we're going to smooth that over, bring it round a little bit, and then we're going to use this part of our hands. Remember, no rolling pin, nice like that. Just push down nice and gently. We want them about that thick, not too thin. We don't want biscuits. We want nice thick scones because they're going to be really nice. So get in your glass, put it over like so, push down. You can hear some of the air coming out of it. And there we go. Look, they've come out perfect. So I'm going to put that there at the front. Oh, you can't see it there. And then my second one. There we go. So you probably, it depends on what size glass you've got. If you want to use a smaller size glass or a bigger size glass, or if you're lucky and you've got some cutters at home that your mum or your dad or your grandparents or your carers or wherever you are, you just use whatever you can, yeah, to make your scones. So there's only me and my daughter here today. My husband's at work. He's working at a hospital. So we're just going to do, I'm probably going to make 4 out of this because my glass is fairly big in diameter, as you can see. It's quite a big one. So I've got 4 there. Now my last little bit isn't probably going to be as perfect as the others. I'm going to knead this all in together like so. And again, turn it over. One's got a little hole in the middle. So it's a bit harder. So you might want to use your thumb at this point to bring it in. Okay. nice and flat, and then turn it over. So we've got nice. So we've probably got all the sort of same sort of sizes. So you want them sort of uniform size, as I've said before. So uniform means that they're probably all the same size. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, if you have got a pastry brush, which I have, some people don't have one, that's fine, you can just use, we've used our fingers at school. So we're going to take some of the milk and we're just going to glaze over our scones/scones. Okay, we do this on the worktop so it doesn't stick to the baking tray. Okay, nicely drenched. We don't want them swimming, we just want them nicely glazed over the top. And then I'm going to get some of my cheese that I had left over, and I'm just going to pop it on top. Okay, and then I'm just going to push it in, just push it down like so. Okay, now depending on what sort of cheese you use, we have a big cheese fan in my family, so we have a lot of mature cheddar cheese, but it doesn't really matter what sort of cheese. You can use any cheese that you like as long as it's grateable. And also you can experiment with these cheese scones. So sometimes I like to put in bacon lardons, so I like to do them, and then also I like to put in a little bit of chili powder as well, and just to make the taste even better. And then just, like I say, experiment with them. The same with your fruit scones. You don't have to just do plain scones. So the same recipe for your plain scones. Right, so we're going to pop these onto a baking tray. Now I'm lucky because I bought some greaseproof paper. So I'm going to put them on there nice and evenly. And then I'm going to pop them in the oven. So I'm going to pop them in the oven for... Now my oven is quite fast, so I'm going to put them in for 10 minutes to start with. Okay. Don't forget to put your timer on if you've got a timer as well. Okay, right, well you'll see the finished product when they come out. Thanks.